Hi, my name is Adam Farr, and today we're going to talk about your crappy attitude or the crappy attitudes of other people around you and why they have such bad attitudes, or why people are sad, depressed, have anxiety, low energy, poor motivation, no focus. I'm going to make this video short because, again, a lot of people don't have the motivation and energy to watch a video that might be 30 minutes long. But I promise you, if you do watch this entire video, you're going to learn something. And most importantly, you're going to be empowered to ensure that almost every single day of your life from here on, you will be able to have a good mood every day. How fantastic is that? I'm going to tell you why that is. So the premise is really simple here. Remember this. Say it in your head a million times over and over again. Food is mood, and mood is food. What does that mean? It has a lot to do with something called the biology of belief. And the biology of belief states quite basically that the emotions you feel day to day have less to do with the external events happening around you. What's going on at work, in your relationship, with your finances, with your body. It has less to do with that and more to do with the physiological, biological, the chemical nature of what's going on inside of your body. Let me elaborate. The food you eat, when you put it in your body, it lends your body chemicals. It lends your body nutrients. And these chemicals, these nutrients, are then used as the fundamental building blocks to create something called neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters dictate your emotions. These neurotransmitters allow you to have a wide spectrum of emotions. But if you don't have the building blocks, you can't have a wide spectrum of emotions. And so your spectrum of emotions, your capacity to emote, becomes more narrow. And in that narrow range of emotions are all the emotions you don't want to feel every day. Depression, anxiety, low motivation, low energy, low focus, inability to concentrate, learn new things, sensitivity, feeling stressed and overwhelmed, all within that narrow range. Why are they in that narrow range? Very simply because it takes less building blocks to have these lower level, these lower order emotions. But we want to have the emotions out here, the awesome emotions, happiness, motivation, energy, high self-esteem. These are all things that we could feel every day if we have the right building blocks. Why don't we have the right building blocks? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because the food industry, the agricultural industry, the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, all of these industries have come together and they have created a perfect storm of health and disease and destruction in our society today, ultimately because of industry itself. So when we're talking about food and where we get food from, we get it from the farmer. And the farmer uses chemicals and pesticides and fertilizers and all these things that basically destroy the soil. From the soil, we grow plants. The plants are genetically modified. They're sprayed with more chemicals, Roundup, this and that. And funguses and toxins grow on them, and all kinds of stuff accumulates on the plants. Then we feed the plants to animals, and the animals accumulate all of those toxins and those chemicals as well, and we eat the plants and then we eat the animals. And so now our bodies are filled with these chemical constituents, these chemical things that disrupt the normal function of a healthy body. So now your body's inflamed, it's damaged, it's oxidized, you have a bunch of pathogens, you have infections and bacteria inside of you, a little bit. Okay? Not all at once, but bit by bit, year after year, it adds up and it grows. And at some point, your body cannot handle the destruction. You need to repair your body. And so your body says, I'm going to take as much calories from the environment, whether it's protein, fat, carb, sugar. I'm going to take it and I'm going to reserve that energy for my immune system to help my immune system repair the damage in my body, to help my immune system fight off the invaders and the problems from the external environment from overwhelming my body. And so you start to put on fat, you start to store calories in the areas where there is the most stress. It tends to be around the stomach region, it tends to be around the belly. All because you need the extra material. And then your brain is like, hey man, I need some chemical building blocks too. I need to feel good. I need to create neurotransmitters. What are the neurotransmitters? The catecholamines, serotonin, GABA, endorphins. And you need these neurotransmitters to create the emotions you need to go out and do things, to be motivated and whatnot. What do the neurotransmitters do? Briefly, you have 4 main categories: serotonin, CATs, catecholamines, GABA, and endorphins. Serotonin, when you have enough serotonin, you feel positive, confident, flexible, and easygoing. That would be great, but you need serotonin. If you don't have enough serotonin, you feel negative, obsessive, irritable, and sleepless. Think of someone you know who has those qualities or traits, at least right now. What about CATs, catecholamines? There are 3 of them: dopamine, norepinephrine, and adrenaline. When you have enough catecholamines, you feel energized, upbeat, and alert, motivated. When you don't have enough, you feel flat, lethargic, or in a funk. Think of someone you know who is flat, lethargic, or in a funk. They don't have enough catecholamines in their brain. GABA. When you have enough GABA, you feel relaxed, stress-free. When you don't have enough GABA, you feel wired, stressed, and overwhelmed. Think of someone you know who's wired, stressed, and overwhelmed. What about endorphins? If you have enough endorphins, you have the capacity to feel pleasure, euphoria, and comfort. If you don't have enough endorphins, you are overly sensitive emotionally to pain, also physically. You're overly sensitive. So all these emotions come about because of the neurotransmitters we create. And so going back to the biology of belief, quite simply, if you don't have the neurotransmitters, you don't have the capacity to experience a wide range of emotions. And so feeling positive, good, feeling motivated, energized is off the table because you don't have the stuff to do it. And so instead you feel the lower order emotions: depressed, anxiety, low self-esteem, hesitancy, you name it. That sucks. That's not good for you, okay? That's not good for you and your life outcomes. It's not good for, chasing the rabbit, getting at your dreams, and making change, positive change in the world. And so because you feel this way, it's only natural that you would like to feel different. And if you're not finding ways to add more building blocks into the system so your body could do this naturally, what's happening instead is you're going to find artificial means of changing your state, changing your emotional experience. And this usually means drugs, alcohol, tobacco, sugary food, crappy food, sad crap, the standard American diet of sad crap, which is crap. It's carbohydrates, it's refined foods, it's artificial ingredients, and it's preservatives, standard American diet. You take drugs, you have toxic relationships, you stay up late at night, you watch too much TV, you do all the things that'll keep your mind off that inner environment, those inner emotions, those deep unresolved feelings of sadness, depression, anxiety. Not because you're a depressed person, but because you have a depressed biology, okay? You are not a depressed person. Your biology is depressed. If you repress your biology, let's say, if you shift your biological state, if you change your chemistry, if you give your body what it needs to feel positive, well, then you'll feel positive. It might be even more effective than psychotherapy, seeing a shrink, whatever it may be. I'm not just talking about depression here. I'm talking about the whole gamut, right? Even focus, motivation, the whole thing. You need chemicals to feel this way, to be on the ball, to be a keener. So you have this imbalance. And over time, if you keep this imbalance going, which is what a lot of us do over time, day after day, month after month, and year after year, the imbalance builds on itself. And you start to get a little bit fatter every year, a little bit more tired, a little bit more sick. It's a little harder to concentrate, feel a little bit less motivated, a little bit more depressed. And it adds up year after year after year after year. And depending on how bad it is, you will experience the big effect that we call aging, okay? You'll age faster. Why is it that some people at 30 look amazing, other people at 30 look like crap? What is going on? Well, the things you're doing to yourself every day are affecting how you look, grow, and age, feel, and respond to your environment. And so you're getting fat, sick, and tired. What happens next? You go to see someone. You say, I'm fat, sick, and tired. I need to see someone. I need to see a health professional. I need to see a doctor. The doctor will give you pharmaceuticals, more chemicals. Or you see a nutritionist. The nutritionist will tell you to follow the food pyramid. The food pyramid was created by the dairy industry, the agricultural industry, the wheat board. To do what? To sell you dairy and wheat products. Of course, it's on the food pyramid. Why? Why do they want to sell you that? Because the dairy industry, the food industry, well, they're the money. The pharmaceutical industry, they're the money that actually feed the politicians who create legislation that decide what legal nutrition is. So you have this whole roundabout system that really is fueled by money and greed and politics and whatnot, and the search for power, and it's making us all sick. And then you go full circle, you come all the way back to more chemicals and bad agriculture, and you start eating the bad food again, the same types of food you were eating before, maybe a little bit quote-unquote cleaner, but there's still a lot of wheat, grain, and dairy and all kinds of stuff in there. And then you start taking pharmaceuticals to help you with your depression, and you start taking stuff for your cholesterol. And what do you think happens? It just full circle again and again, back to being more damaged, inflamed, over and over and over again. You get more fat, sick, and tired. And here you are today, or here your loved ones are today. They got a disease, they got something going on, they're depressed. And again, we attribute it to the nature of things. This is life. We get older, we get sick, we die, we get tired, and that's just the way life is, right? Wrong. Not true. It's not true, and I'm going to tell you what you could do about it. So, simple solutions, okay? We have these neurotransmitters. You have your catecholamines, serotonin, you have endorphins and GABA. If you could take a magic pill that increased these substances in your body, would you take it? Yes, of course you would, because if you had more of these substances in your body, more of these neurotransmitters, you would feel amazing. You'd feel awesome. And you'd get shit done. You'd get her done. And you'd be happy about it. Well, there is a magic pill, or several magic pills. And don't worry, it's nothing crazy. You've heard of them before, but you've probably never appreciated their impact until now, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do with them. So I've separated them into 3 categories. Take a note of these, and this is in the order of importance, okay? So you have your core 4 supplements. Vitamin D, zinc, magnesium, and an EPA DHA supplement. All in liquid form. That's what I prefer. You don't have to, but I prefer it all in liquid form. These are the core 4 supplements you need to be taking almost every single day. And in the spirit of Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, if you just take these 4 supplements on a regular basis, they will have the largest impact on your body, your chemistry, your physiology over time. They will create the most bang for your buck per magic pill. So those are the core 4. Then I have the fortified 4. Why do I say fortified 4? Because if you're eating any semblance of a healthy diet, you're probably getting this anyway in your diet. But it's still good to have these on hand, because if you have them on hand, the days you feel off, you might want to supplement with them, because they might prove to be quite useful in bringing you back to normal chemistry, emotional chemistry. The fortified 4 are glutamine, calcium, chromium, and a B complex. And then finally, I have one more protocol for you. It's called the SAD protocol. And all you have to do is remember this story. St. John was a poor and sad guy, 5 months a year, because of crappy sleep and sun. That's a mnemonic, all right? It's a way to remember everything in the SAD protocol. It's a lot, I know. Let me explain. St. John's wort, ashwagandha, phenylalanine, SAMe, that's S-A-M-E, vitamin D, amino acids, GABA, 5-HTP, melatonin, astragalus root, ylang-ylang essential oils, that's Y-L-A-N-G, B vitamins, calcium, and then sleep and sun. So St. John was a poor and sad guy 5 months a year because of crappy sleep and sun. And it's a story that explains why St. John was so sad. And you know, you take those supplements, and all of a sudden, you're not so sad anymore. You feel good, you feel motivated. Everything I just mentioned to you, I have them all on my kitchen counter. And I don't take them all every day, but I take them when I don't feel like myself. I take them when I feel a little bit depressed, a little bit unmotivated, a little bit off, not sleeping so well. I take them. Do you have to take all of them? Hell no. Do I suggest you take them? Absolutely, especially during the winter, especially if you have mood problems, emotional issues, you feel sad, depressed, or unmotivated. Everyone should be taking the core 4. And if there's anything going on with your mood, if you're unhappy, you should take the SAD protocol. But it's not enough, okay? So I gave you the magic pill, but you have to appreciate the fact that what these pills do, is they stop the cycle of low energy, low motivation, poor sleep, moodiness. And once you stop the cycle, you have a window of opportunity to make real effective change, long-term change in your life. And we do that by healing and sealing the GMBM complex. What is the GMBM complex? Well, I'm going to put a link in the information box of this video, up, down, wherever it may be, with a link to my ebook. It's free. I'm going to give it to you for free. Usually charge 20 bucks for it, but it's yours free if you fill out the little questionnaire and the link there. And it discusses the details about this. But very briefly, the GMBM complex is your gut, your microbiome, your brain, and your mitochondria. And the problem today is we all have leaky guts. We all have holes in our digestive system. Our microbiome, our microbiota, the bacteria living in our body, the symbiotic bacteria that helps us produce B vitamins and anti-inflammatory compounds and helps our immune system and helps us digest food and suck calories out of food. Well, we're killing our bacteria. We're killing our bacteria with bad habits, bad foods, poisons in the atmosphere. And we've got to take care of these guys. Our brain, GMB, B for brain. Our brains are fried. Attention spans are lower than ever. People can't seem to learn new information. We're forgetful. We forget things. If you made it this far in the video, you're already way ahead of the pack in terms of your ability to stay focused and aware about what you're looking at. So our brains are fried. And then finally, mitochondria, the last one. The mitochondria is the energy powerhouse of the cell. And most people's mitochondria, which are little bacteria trapped in every cell, most people's mitochondria are using the wrong fuel. And because they're using the wrong fuel, they're breaking their body apart, or they're wearing it out that much faster over time. Imagine putting gasoline in a Tesla. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're doing it every day. We're feeding our mitochondria the wrong type of fuel. Briefly, this means glucose over lipids or fats. This is a big subject. Fill in the questionnaire above or below, and I will send you a copy of the ebook. The ebook is 100 pages long, and it pretty much lays it all out on the table. More so than I could ever lay it out here in this video. Briefly, what does the ebook cover? It covers the issue of excessive inflammation, oxidation, and toxic invaders, and how an immune response is actually responsible for making us fat, sick, and tired. It's not about calories in, calories out. It's about how your immune system reacts to the environment and the food you eat. Fat loss, I'll say it, man. Fat loss has very little, if nothing, to do with exercise. Exercise does a whole host of different things, but to lose or burn fat, you do not need to exercise. I am saying it. A guy who's trained people for almost 15 years now, I'm going to tell you, you do not need to exercise to lose fat. You need to quell, or you need to control your immune response, and you'll burn fat. And you need to shift your metabolism over and become metabolically flexible. Things I talk about in the ebook. In the ebook, I also talk about your 3 fat-burning blockers: bad fats, bad plants and proteins, and bad sugars. Well, that's it. I just named everything, right? Well, the truth is that these bad foods could also be good foods, depending on where you source them, where you get them from, how you prepare them. It's not so black and white as bad and good. The ebook talks about that as well. I talk about the 3 major myths that are holding you back from making the changes you need to make. Briefly, the calorie myth. Calories and macros, it's a myth that, this is not how biology works. So I want you to be exposed to that. The whole high-fat cholesterol myth, that's another one. And then I talk about 3 systems I created to address these issues. The keto biome diet, I talk about the MH5 training system, and I talk about the Morphic Flow system, which has a lot to do with habits and rituals and making positive changes in your life. So that's what the ebook's about. I'm not going to talk about that anymore, but the idea is to get you to stop being fat, sick, and tired. I'll remove that. So how do we address all of this? Quite simply, I named a whole bunch of supplements. I told you a whole bunch of stuff. I said, read an ebook. That's a lot of information. It's too much for me. I'm frazzled. I don't know what to do. Well, it's simple. Pick some supplements, right? Buy some. Buy the core 4 at least, vitamin D, zinc, magnesium, EPA, DHA. Take them every day. Or buy all the supplements if you have all of these issues and take them in the following fashion. I use the shotgun approach, the shotgun method. And very simply, if you have a shotgun, but you have poor aim, you don't really know what's going on, you shoot a shotgun, you're bound to hit your target. So the shotgun approach is how I deal with my supplements. I don't worry about when I take my supplements. I don't worry about how often I take my supplements. I'm really just worried about whether or not the supplements are getting in my body most of the time. And so if you had a deficiency in vitamin D, zinc, magnesium, EPA, and DHA, which we all do, by the way, that's why they're part of the core 4, then just starting to take these supplements will have a cascade effect or a compounding effect on your biology, and you'll start to feel better in many ways. I could go on and on about this, but I'll leave it at that. And it's the same thing for your fortified floor and your SAD protocol. So how do I do this? I say most days take your core 4. Some days take your fortified 4, and rarely or some days take your SAD protocol, especially if you're sad. And that's it. You're going to start to see your mood change because your neurotransmitters are going to upregulate, along with a host of other benefits. You're going to start to feel a lot better about yourself. You're going to perceive things differently. You're going to have more energy. But it's not that simple. You have the magic pill, and the magic pill is designed to get you to break the cycle. But you still have to change your eating habits a bit. And so after a week or two of doing this magic pill stuff, you might want to consider, hey, now that I have more motivation, I could think more clearly, I sleep a little bit better, maybe I have enough time and energy to implement a change in my diet. And that particular diet, the one I espouse, is called the keto biome diet. Talk all about it in the ebook. And it really is built upon 4 pillars of dieting that is traditional across all the traditions of human culture over the millennia. So something to read in the ebook as well. And what you're doing here is you've broken the cycle, you start to feel good, and now to change your diet, to start exercising, to get better sleep, all these things become possible now. Whereas before, you were fat, sick, and tired, you were depressed, had poor motivation, no energy. Of course, you're not going to do anything to change. You're kind of stuck in this loop. So now some fun facts for you, all right? So now we know all of this stuff. We know how neurotransmitters affect how we feel, the emotions we have, our perceptions, and that we could implement change and we could break the problem, or we could break the cycle by just throwing some magic pills on the problem and then changing our diet after we got some more motivation and energy. I want to talk about now some other things, some other facts here. So we know about all of that. We know that depression and anxiety are because of low serotonin. Did you also know that low serotonin causes negativity, like negative thinking, obsessive thoughts, low self-esteem, and irritability? Think of someone you know who displays these characteristics, these traits. They have low serotonin. Did you know that low motivation, energy, and focus have to do with having low catecholamines? But did you also know that low catecholamines cause low enthusiasm, makes you oversleep, you have cold hands and feet, or you have the need for uppers, drugs, tobacco, alcohol, sugar? Low catecholamines. If you have high stress, this reduces GABA. What else reduces GABA? Feeling overworked, feeling pressured, time pressures, being sensitive to light. So if you wear dark sunglasses on a regular basis, or you're sensitive to sounds, that's low GABA. Or you feel the need to use drugs to relax. Low GABA, low GABA. Emotional sensitivity, if it's high, it's because you have low endorphins. Endorphins are essentially painkillers. And low endorphins means you avoid dealing with painful situations, painful issues. We all know that person who just can't address the situation or the issue. They're very avoidant. Low endorphins, overly sensitive to pain. But did you also know that if you have PTSD, it has been shown in science that taking GABA, 5-HTP, and tyrosine will help with the symptoms of PTSD, markedly so. If you have chronic pain, if you take D3 and a B complex, your pain will go away. Well, it won't go away, but it'll decrease. Something very interesting about pain is that tissue repair, tissue injury happens while you sleep. And the chain of events that allows you to recover from injury goes something like this. You go to sleep, you fall asleep, you go into REM stage of sleep, deep sleep. Your body becomes paralyzed. It becomes paralyzed by a substance called acetylcholine. And the acetylcholine keeps your muscles from moving. And when they stop moving, your muscles, your tissues, your organs, your body is then, or your immune system is then able to repair those specific areas. The same way that you cannot fix a pump. If it's pumping, you have to stop the pump, then fix the pump. Your body is much the same way. Every night you go to bed and you stop and you repair yourself. You need acetylcholine to do this. But where does acetylcholine come from? Acetylcholine comes from pantothenic acid. Pantothenic acid is a B vitamin. And it is produced by the bacteria in your gut. And the bacteria in your gut need vitamin D to be fed or to grow, to produce the pantothenic acid, which produces the acetylcholine, which then binds to receptor sites in your body, which paralyzes your body when you sleep, so you don't act out your dreams. So you create antidiuretic hormone and you don't wet the bed. So you wake up and you heal from your injuries. And so you feel rested in the morning and you feel re-energized. That's what sleep is all about. It's about repairing your body for the next day. So you need vitamin D to do that. You need your Bs to do that. I say just take your vitamin Ds, go to the top of the chain there, take about 10,000 international units every day, right before bed. Hell, take twice that amount for a little bit of time and see how that affects your sleep, your recovery, your mood. I guarantee you, you're going to feel freaking amazing. There's a reason that vitamin D is the very first supplement I mentioned. We are super deficient in vitamin D across the board. If you start supplementing with a lot of vitamin D, not just one pill a day, not just 1,000 international units, if you supplement with a lot of it, you're going to feel fantastic. Did you also know that alcoholism, the taste for alcohol, can be remedied in part by supplementing with omega-3 fatty acids? And that 40% of alcoholics have a condition called pyroluria, which is an inability for your brain to take nutrients in and repair itself. And so you have this weird nutrient imbalance in your brain. And one of the symptoms is a taste or a desire to consume alcohol for whatever reason. So those are the fun facts. If you take all of my advice here, but you still eat the bad mood foods, what are the bad mood foods? Very briefly: sweets, white flour, vegetable oils, rye, oats, barley, soy, peanuts, chocolate, corn, nightshades, eggs, anything that might cause an immune response. I put a little star here in my notes. Chocolate and eggs, I put a star because they're technically good foods for you. They're good for you, but some people have immune responses to these foods because they have a leaky gut. They have a damaged GMBM complex. You could heal your GMBM complex and then go back to eating these foods. It's the beauty of the body healing. But if you continue to eat these foods, continue to consume the sad crap diet, all the magic pills in the world won't help you. Which is why, again, I'm giving you access to the Keto Biome Diet ebook, or the ebook I created for you, which kind of explains step by step a little bit more about what you have to do, what you have to be concerned about, and it demystifies all the misinformation that's out there and kind of puts it all together so your bullshit detector will be a little bit sharper, a little bit more sensitive to the crap that's out there in the world of fitness and nutrition. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I tried to riddle this off as quickly as possible. And, if you're interested in hearing more information like this, I suggest you get the ebook. I will ask you for your email address, and you will be added to an email list where I will continue to send you links to lessons just like this for free, because you've shown me that you're interested in what I'm talking about and what I'm doing. And ultimately, my goal at the end of the day is to help people get healthy, get happy, and get moving. And if you want to be a part of that journey with me, I encourage you, get the book, send me your email, join the little community I'm building, and we'll take it from there. Have a great day.